Hi, everybody. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for Source's Journey to Identity, Part 3, The Soul and Its Dynamics. A definition of a soul is a point of attention of consciousness held together by attachments to ideas and defined by the lens of memory. At the end of this Part 3, all of that criteria will have been met. So, having emerged from pure awareness, crystallized around idea and frequency, the soul begins to exist as a coherent point of attention. Yet, at this stage, the soul is not static. It is dynamic, pulsating with its frequency, interacting with potentialities, and creating a ripple effect throughout awareness. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for comprehending how identity eventually forms. The soul is the first point in which awareness becomes self-referential. Before the soul, awareness is infinite and undifferentiated. Once a soul crystallizes, it reflects upon itself, recognizing its own ideas and resonance. This self-reference is subtle at first. It does not yet involve verbalized thought, ego, or narrative. It is a primal recognition. I am distinct. I am vibrating. I am here. This recognition is the seed of individuality. The soul perceives itself as a coherent unit, separate from the infinite field of awareness, yet still strongly connected to it. This duality, the sense of being both distinct and unifying, forms the basis for future conscious experience. It also allows the soul to act as a filter. What resonates with its frequency is incorporated into experience. What does not is excluded or transformed. Each soul carries a set of initial ideas, concepts, tendencies, potentials that define its essence. These ideas are not fully formed beliefs. They are blueprints for expression. An idea might be as simple as curiosity, harmony, or exploration. Others may be more complex, like healing or creation. These ideas guide the soul's focus, shaping the types of experiences it attracts and ways it interacts with reality. Ideas are intimately connected to frequency. A particular idea resonates only with compatible frequencies, meaning that the soul's vibrational signature determines which ideas are expressed and which remain latent. Over time, ideas evolve as the soul interacts with experience, modifying the blueprint and creating the dynamic basis for identity formation. Thought is the primary mechanism through which the soul expresses itself. Thoughts are not random. They are the vibration of the soul interacting with the field of awareness. They emerge naturally from the resonance of frequency and the structure of guiding ideas. Initially, these thoughts are subtle. Impulses, inclinations, or intuitive nudges. For example, a soul with the idea of exploration may generate thoughts that drive it towards new experiences, novel perceptions, or unfamiliar aspects of awareness. A soul with the idea of healing may generate thoughts that direct attention towards repairing patterns, balancing energies, or restoring coherence. Okay. Thoughts serve multiple functions. The first is navigation. Thoughts guide the soul's attention, highlighting potentials in the environment that align with its frequency. The second is manifestation. Thoughts act as an energetic signature that attracts experiences matching the soul's resonance. The third is reflection. Thoughts allow the soul to begin observing itself and the results of its interactions, laying the foundation for self-awareness. This triad is essential. Without thought, the soul remains passive, drifting with a field of awareness. With thought, the soul actively engages reality, shaping experience and setting the stage for memory and learning. Thought naturally generates experience. Experiences are the raw material through which consciousness learns, grows, and eventually constructs identity. Okay. Experiences present contrast. They create boundaries, challenges, and stimuli the soul can interact with. Contrast is essential. Without it, the soul cannot recognize its own patterns, limitations, or preferences. Experience functions as a mirror, reflecting the soul's ideas and frequency back to itself. Through repeated interaction with reality, the soul begins to see patterns emerging. When I act in this way, this happens. When I resonate with that, another result occurs. Experiences can be positive, negative, or neutral from the perspective of the soul, but their true value lies in the feedback they provide. They are the teachers that allow the soul to refine its frequency, adjust its ideas, and develop the cognitive and emotional framework that will eventually manifest as identity. As experiences accumulate, the soul begins to form memories. Memory is the recording of events, impressions, and internal reactions. It is not merely a passive storage of data. Memory encodes patterns, correlations, and the energetic signature of events. Memories are multidimensional. They include sensory impressions, which is how an event feels, sounds, looks, or resonates energetically. Memories include emotional coloring, which is the internal response of the soul to an event, including pleasure, discomfort, fear, or curiosity. Memories include interpretive insight, which is an early conceptualization of what the event might mean in the context of the soul's guiding ideas and frequency. Memory allows the soul to create continuity. It connects past experiences to present actions, forming a cohesive narrative. This continuity is crucial for identity formation, as identity requires a sense of self that persists through time. When the soul reflects upon memory, it begins to form beliefs. Beliefs are not fully conscious at first. They emerge as generalized patterns of interpretation. For example, if a soul frequently encounters resistance when pursuing a certain idea, it may unconsciously form the belief, I am limited in this area. Conversely, repeated success or resonance may generate beliefs like, I am capable of creation. Beliefs function as filters. They shape perception, guide thought, and influence the type of experiences the soul attracts. Over time, these beliefs become more structured, forming the scaffolding upon which identity is built. Beliefs also interact with frequency. A belief that aligns with the soul's core frequency reinforces it, while a belief that conflicts may be rejected, modified, or used as a learning experience. This dynamic ensures that identity evolves coherently, grounded in the vibrational essence of the soul. The soul is never isolated. It continuously interacts with a broader field of consciousness, potentialities, and other souls. These interactions are governed by resonance. Similar frequencies attract and dissonant frequencies create friction or avoidance. The soul's dynamics are therefore relational as well as internal. Through interaction, the soul tests and refines its ideas, frequency, and beliefs. Relationships, events, and challenges all serve as mirrors, reflecting the soul's internal state and guiding its evolution. Even negative or challenging experience carry information, showing the soul where adjustment, adaptation, or expansion is needed. Limitation is not a flaw. It's an essential feature of consciousness development. Boundaries, challenges, and constraints create contrast, and contrast is what allows the soul to recognize itself. Without limitation, the soul would remain infinite in potential but unable to differentiate patterns, form ideas, or generate coherent thought. Okay, contrast also generates preference. Through repeated experiences of resonance and dissonance, the soul begins to discern what aligns with its frequency and what does not. These discernments gradually solidify into early identity markers, tendencies, preferences, and personality traits. Even before full identity emerges, early markers appear. These are patterns of thought, behavior, and perception that indicate the soul's unique resonance. These markers are not fixed. They evolve as the soul accumulates experience and refines its ideas and frequency. However, they are the first glimpses of what will later become a more stable identity. At this stage, the soul functions as a dynamic system. Frequency provides the vibrational template of resonance. Ideas offer direction, potential, and conceptual scaffolding. Thoughts express frequency and guide attention toward aligned experiences. Experiences offer contrast, learning, and feedback. Memory stores impressions and allows for continuity and reflection. Beliefs interpret patterns and provide the framework for identity. And identity markers, which are early tendencies that prefigure the future self. These components are all interconnected, creating a self-organizing system that continuously evolves. The soul is both the creator and the observer of this system, dynamically shaping itself, its interaction with reality. So in summary, the soul is the first coherent expression of individuality within the infinite field of awareness. It carries unique ideas and vibrational frequency. It generates thought patterns, attracts experiences, and begins forming memory and belief. Through contrast and reflection, the soul develops early markers of identity, laying the foundation for conscious self-recognition. At this point, the soul is fully engaged in its journey from awareness to identity. The dynamic interplay of frequency, ideas, thought, experience, and memory forms a feedback loop that propels evolution, enabling the soul to navigate reality intentionally. The next critical stage in the journey towards identity is part 4, thought, experience, and learning, which will explore how experiences are generated, how contrast shapes consciousness, and how memories feed into the early development of belief systems. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.